front of you the various autogyros. This is quite a machine. Yes, very small. And they just operated by gyro air displays. And this is, of course, an autogyro rather than a helicopter. The key difference being that the main rotor, the top of the rotor head, you see, is driven not by the engine, but simply auto-rotates as a result of the airflow. That was the mechanism originally designed and patented. So they developed it the gyros in order to improve the takeoff distance that it was possible to achieve with them. But this is a very different, much more modern, much more functional machine designed in Germany by the Rotor Sports company. This is the aircraft to wave at. Peter is ready equipped, as you'll soon see. But do give him a wave as he goes past. take me off with Frank Chapman in tow, and the swing speed is going to be tight. I'll tell you what. There we go. You'll see a bit more later of the ominous in the air, is to see how much height is lost in a manoeuvre. It's usually the sign of someone who's completely in control. They will hold the height in each manoeuvre. Coming in below. Here, in the markings of the Royal Canadian Air Force, which after the Royal Air Force was the Type's second largest user, as our unique formation runs in once again from our right. And giving us time. And without folding wings, it was taking an awful lot of hangar space. The other thing that proved rather awful, and that you have a chipmunk. Some of the great lady pilots of the 1930s in Germany who flew these aeroplanes in display. The likes, for example, of Liesl Bach, who one of the main exponents of this type. Likewise, Eli Beinhorn and Beate Usa. And it's a tradition that continues to this day.
Won an Olympic gold medal. The Germans decided to include aerobatics in the Berlin Olympiad in 1936, and Count Hagenberg won in a single-seat version of the Jungmeister. Former fighter pilot David Wildridge used to fly the F4 Phantom and the Tornado. And on the left, Steve Bohill-Smith, a former Concorde pilot. But Steve has a distinction that he's had what must be not only any pilot's best day out, but probably any man's best day out, where on the same day he flew a Spitfire Mark 9 in the morning before piloting Concorde to New York that very same evening. That must have been one hell of a day out. Now this big formation was actually the prescribed formation for attack during the 1930s and early stages of the Battle of Britain. The thinking being that with 3 aircraft you could concentrate your firepower upon the enemy far more effectively. Actually, it turned out to be a very ineffective formation, because it meant that the leader was the only person concentrating on the enemy and on anybody who could attack you, and the wingmen were just concentrating on the leader and therefore were vulnerable. The Germans, by contrast, had what they call a Schwarm, which was 2 sets of 2, which turned out to be the most effective way of fighting and is adopted to this day. Here they come from right to left. Tiger Line team in 3 Vicks. There's 130 horsepower to handle Gypsy Major engines. So that anybody going on to fly Spitfires or Hurricanes or Mosquitoes or Wellington Bombers or Lancasters would have learnt on these aircraft first. And they make the most marvellous trainer because they are an easy aircraft to fly, but they are very difficult aircraft to fly well. And this makes them ideal for weeding out pilots and finding out who are the much more gifted pilots that they can stream onto fighters, and those who are those more pilots by the age of 19. That goes for the Red Arrows and the Tiger 9. But the Tiger 9 have on average more than double the number of flying hours that the Red Arrows have. That's largely because they're retired now. Look at that, get your cameras out for them. These are very light aircraft, and so to do what they're doing is incredibly difficult. They're making it look so simple. Here they come like a great flock of geese, from right to left, in big, thick formation. your eyes open as they charge towards you, building up speed. And pointing! Here they come, building up speed to 120 miles an hour. Again, get those cameras ready. And pointing! Followed by Robin Russell in the centre with a half-cuban 8. Now the teams will line themselves up, and they'll do similarly.
Or, of course, the Great Patriotic War, as it was known to the Soviets. The most famous exploits of these aircraft in the hands of female pilots. There was only one female manned, that's rather an oxymoron, isn't it? Female staff regiment with these aeroplanes at the front, the 46 Guards Cameron Regiment. You see the Lysander facing down the plane too. A Soviet comedy of the Great Patriotic War years entitled Nebezhny Zikokov, meaning the slow pacer in the sky, featuring the exploits of these remarkable biplanes. Dropping in excess of 3,000 tons of bombs on the enemy.
Hello, is it hot? Hot? I'm hot, yeah. And look, I've got more flesh than you. Twice your size.
Union. Some perspective, those who were given the title of hero, and it was indeed given as hero rather than heroine, had to have notched up some 800 missions. That was the level of activity that its Po-2s undertook.
Normally the aircraft would fly over at about 10,000 feet and then shut the engine down and just glide down on the German troops and drop bombs with the idea that if you could disturb them at night and stop them sleeping, they not fly very efficiently afterwards. Lysander coming through at speed now.
Landed.
As I mentioned, the Lysander found its niche as the taxi service for agents to France and the Low Countries. Starting in 1942. The radial and the larger diameter propeller. The that sound that you hear, that very distinctive, piercing sound, that is the sound of the propellers getting very close to supersonic speeds as they accelerate. Still lots of good archive film available on YouTube to show what the people in the 20s got up to, and all you can do is admire their bravery. Our two wing walkers today are Gina Marshall, G-Force, and Katie Hobbs, Shockwave. Both are in their first year with the team.
atop the wings of the two steermans. I'm always intrigued by the background and the watching carefully. And that's the sort of work on the wing that, against the, up to say today, 100 mile an hour, halfway between the cockpit and the wing. And there you can see them climbing down into the cockpits. In order to depart, ladies and gentlemen, they were the pilots, Dave Barrell and Martin Carrington, the wing walkers, Gina Marshall Marshall and Katie Hobbs. Looks like
However, that wasn't quite the end for Tommy Shuttleworth. Together with his chief engineer Harry Walker and his production manager Fred Segrist and a private backer, they managed to Phoenix Company in the name of H.G. Hawker, more familiar to all of you as Hawker Aircraft. Ben and I both feel that it's very important you should be able to not only see these aircraft, but also to hear them. Possibly the only drawback of now starting the aircraft on the other side of the airfield is you don't get to smell the rotary engines. When I first came here many years ago, it was a mixture of burnt castor oil and fresh cut grass that filled the nostrils. But you can still see and hear these wonderful aircraft. The SC-5A was
by the newly independent RAF on the 1st of April 1918. Bristol fighters like the one on final approach now served long after World War I.
And just to elaborate a little on what Ben was saying about the Bristol fighter, it may also have been the aircraft that saved the RAF, because when it went out to police in the Middle East, it proved to the government that air power was the cheapest way of maintaining peace in those areas. That's the aircraft carrier. TH-19 Dragonfly.
The DH-89A Dragon Rapide was initially known as the Dragon 6, and an early example of the type itself took part in the 1934 McRobertson International Air Raids from the earlier DH-84 Dragon.
To an RAF order and used by number 1 camouflage flight at Henley. It was released from the RAF in 1943 for civilian use and allocated to Scottish Airways. And used on the route to Orkney and the Shetland Islands. First life as Dragonfly and the Comet. Unique combination. That quite literally is a one-off. We're only going to do one pass this afternoon, but you've had the opportunity to see two unique aircraft. There are, of course, copies of the Comet flying elsewhere, but it's the original aircraft. This Dragonfly, it's the last of only two left from an initial delivered to Angola in 1937. Then went to South Africa, ZS-CTR. That's a fast run from the Comet. And there's our red squirrel turning up to the left of the airfield, to the north, shall we say. And the significance of the red squirrel is, of course, that it's number 10. R6 engines, units, or with sensitive shock after that, they can be collected there. Okay, that's a pair of binoculars found in the vicinity of the chipmunk. Now, back to the commentary. Yes. In late 1912, Geoffrey de Havilland come up with a design that he thought might work. It was referred to as the Blériot because at that time the Royal Aircraft Factory was not allowed to produce new designs. It was only allowed U2As were in regular service with the two main frontline squadrons in the UK, number 2 squadron up at Montrose and number 4 down at Farnborough. Coming through now is a BE2E. This was the last of the line of BE2s. Any other mark. Therefore known as the Quirk. And Arthur Gould Lee in his book gives an interesting quote because in May 1917 he was one of 6 pilots allocated to ferry new aircraft to various bases and recorded, I felt rather a cad not crashing too, because everyone else is glad to see death traps like quirks written off, especially new ones. But it was a good aircraft in its day. However, it did play a pioneering role in Australia, where Captain Wrigley and Sergeant Murphy flew from Melbourne to Port Darwin in 46 hours. That's 2,500 miles. And 2 BE aircraft went to Northern Australia, and one of them was used to found what became Qantas in early 1921. So they are a very significant aircraft.
And there goes the sale model, and these are little and large. Chris Burkett's flying the large one, Mike Williams the little, and they pull straight up into their display for synchronised stall turns. Now the general principle here is that Mike is flying the model at a distance about 2.5 times closer to you than Chris is flying the full size, thus creating the illusion that they're closer together than they really are.
Yeah, that works.
And this display starts with the pair of them performing synchronised aerobatic manoeuvres. The full-size aircraft is extra 300S, not the L model that I mentioned earlier, part of that great family of unlimited competition aerobatic aircraft created by the German aerobatic pilot and engineer Walter Extra. AIO 540 engine is the real extra, produces some 300 horsepower. The Mike Williams model we see here has 180cc flat twin two-stroke engine. And we see Mike with the model now a little closer to us, showing what that can do. carbon fibre model. Wondering, it costs him about £6,500. What, of course, sets this aircraft apart from the full size is its incredible thrust to weight ratio, which is about 2.5 to 1, which enables the model to do some amazing close to the ground hovering, which I expect to see in a while. And calls the pilots into Phoenix formation. You now see the wings move forward, with 4, 5, 8 and 9 moving at B, reds 2 and 3, closing to about 6 feet apart as reds 6 and 7 tuck in behind 2 and 3 in this left-hand turn. Red 1 is squadron leader David Montenegro. It's his third and final year as the team leader. He is a former Hawk flying instructor and Tornado F3 air defence pilot. He first joined the Red Arrows in 2009 and left in 2011, having led the synchro pair. That's him now leading this left-hand turn with some more red, white and blue. As the pilots present Phoenix. Upside down now, 2,500 feet, 400 miles per hour, and a shape of the Spitfire against the cloud backdrop there. We've introduced the Spitfire role this year to celebrate the Royal Air Force's Battle of Britain Memorial Flight and their 60th anniversary. Typhoon, where he spent a number of tours and became a qualified weapons instructor. Looking front left now, the smoke is up, ready for a very dynamic manoeuvre. This Tornado. Reds 8 and 9 with the blue and red smoke on now. They're rolling around the other 7 aircraft. Red 1's about to make it much more difficult for Reds 8 and 9. Coming left now. Entering a 3G left-hand turn. Tornado. Finishing their rolls around the formation there as they finish to beam each other behind the other 7 aircraft. The smoke goes off, and now you'll see Reds 2, 3, 4 and 5 moving to the very back of the formation of being Red 7's jets. Reds 8 and 9 are about to tuck in behind, and they are forming the shape of that fabulous feat of British aviation engineering excellence. They're in this left-hand turn, tightening to around 3.5 G, and they're going to present Concorde. This is Concorde. At the very bottom of the formation is Red 5. Now against the normal routine, we actually have a reserve number 100 squadron providing target training for frontline units. That's him now at the top of the formation as we see it, the 3 aircraft on each wing moving forward to form our trademark dump. They are putting their 9 smokes on. They're going to fly the Diamond Roll. Upside down again, 2,500 feet on the rolling display. All 9 jets smoking at 400 miles per hour in our trademark shape. That now signifies the end of the first part on this display, where so far we've seen all 9 jets together performing close formation aerobatics. Well, now we're about to change the tempo of the routine. as we go for some more dynamic manoeuvring. Only first lesson for aircraft when the Red Arrow started flying night shift displays back in 1968. So rolling out directly ahead now, aiming at the top, Jippo at the bottom. Get your cameras ready. The smoke's coming on to start the second part of our display with the detonator. Here you go, Enid. Now keep your eyes on the current smoke of Jippo. Inverted V shape. Now look to the left, here comes a lone jet. This is Red 9, who's going to fly through in the goose. Gliding sweetly to the right, there is Red 9. To input a lot of rudder to swing the jets out like a pitch. Normally we fly our formations with the odd-numbered pilots on the left and the even-numbered pilots fly on the right. But in this shape, it's the other way around. We've currently got reds 2 and 4 on the left, reds 3 and 5 on the right. But they're about to switch to their normal sides by doing this in the slalom. Now in their comfort zones, 3 and 5 left, 2 and 4 right, into battle formation. Red 1 calls power, squeezing the throttle forward for more thrust, calls tightening, red on go, squeezing to 4G. Pilots reaching up and right with their right thumbs to operate the red smoke button as they present battle. White on go using the same thumb out to control go. White smoke on, red smoke off as they finish the slalom. Now bring your eyes further right. Here comes Jippo. Jippo, roll go for the Hurricane. Stages during that brilliant Hurricane manoeuvre. They finished to our left-hand side, but now look right 45. In a shape now called Leader's Benefit. They're about to draw a red, white and blue snake-like shape of smoke in the sky now as they fly the Python. Switching to white smoke, Red 1 using red now in his second roll in the Python. On the far right of that shape is Red 4, who is Flight Lieutenant Matt Masters. Matt's a second-year pilot in the team. He's a former Tucano flying instructor and then moved on to be an air defence pilot flying the Tornado F3. More recently, he's been flying 100 Squadron. 6 and 7. They're then rolling. Get ready for the Jippo break.